Big game, huge game coming up against the Green Bay Packers, and the Detroit Lions are getting a key defensive starter back. I'm excited about this. A couple weeks ago, I came on and did a video talking about DeShon Elliott, his importance to this defense, both in the run game and in the pass game, the veteran presence, and just the lack of depth behind DeShon Elliott at the safety position. He's missed the last 2 games. The run defense was absolutely gashed against the Carolina Panthers, and then was gashed for a quarter by the Chicago Bears. And then they started playing better, but it's looking like he's trending toward playing, which could be huge news against a veteran quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, to get experience on the other side of the ball against him. But let's look at what this injury report looks like. Let's see what it looks like and talk about it. So we had 2 players that had a limited practice. 2 players got a limited practice in. Evan Brown for the ankle. That's somewhat concerning, but it makes sense that he would get an easier workload on Wednesday after he's been back 2 weeks. He finally started to look better again this week. And then you have DeShon Elliott. This is a guy who's been out of practice for a couple weeks now. And to see him back is huge. And this article agrees. It says it is a potentially massive opportunity for the Lions to improve its run defense. I would argue that it's an opportunity for us to improve our defense in general. With Elliott out of the lineup the last 2 weeks, they're saying exactly what I said. They gave up several big plays. Here's the thing. Ifeatu Melifonwu played well last game. He played well last game. And I think we need to at least take a dive and look at, is the DeShon Elliott return as big of a deal as we think it is? So we got the eye test. We know that DeShon Elliott was all over the field. If he played a good game against the Bears, here's the thing. The Bears' offensive line was terrible. Their receiving core, bad. There's just not a lot of weapons. Justin Fields, for all the excitement surrounding him, he is not Aaron Rodgers. And so when we say he played better, we have to look into multiple factors on that. One, he wasn't challenged as much. He did have a couple passes that went his way, and he played well against them. I was really impressed with Iffy against the Bears. However, he also sat out quite a bit as well. We rotated a little bit, and I think that was to help cover up some of the deficiencies that he might still have, or the inexperience that he might still have. So we rotated out a little bit on him. So to have an experienced starter like DeShon Elliott possibly coming back into the fold could be a huge win by us. But let's go ahead and look at where they are for the season. So your PFF grades, let me see if I can get this a little bit closer for you so you can see it better. Your PFF grades for these guys. Ify Melifonwu, his overall defense is a 54.6 for the season. Now, this is not a huge amount of plays. He's played 98 plays. Kirby Joseph has played 815. I'm sorry, not Kirby Joseph. DeShon Elliott has played 799 snaps. That's more than any safety not named Kirby Joseph. He's ranked 41st out of 88. He has a 67 defensive grade. He has a 67.8 run defense and a 64.9 pass rush, and then a 64.2 coverage. It is a very even split. And what you can see is he's averaging in the mid to high 60s, whereas Iffy is in the 50s. So let's take a closer look at these guys and how they actually grade out per se. All right. When you look at weekly, not a ton of snaps, not a, and he's there. And this is what you get out of a second-year guy that has changed positions. I'm not saying if he hasn't shown signs that he can be the future, but he's not the future yet. So if we can get a guy like Elliott back, that experience will play a massive amount, even if it's just experience this year. Think about it. 505 snaps against the pass, 294 against the run. When you look at a guy like Iffy, it's completely different. So as I'm looking at this, I think what we have to talk about is how much of a role does experience and overall skill set play. DeShon Elliott has proven that he is a capable starter. His grade out of a safety is 41st. Look, I'm not going rocket science with y'all right now. 41st. There's 32 teams in the NFL. There's 64 starting safeties. He's rated 41st. He is about average to just below average starter. That's what he is. But that's what he is. Kirby Joseph, with his ranking in the 60s, the low 60s, he's a below average starter. That's what he is. So, what we need to do is we need to get our best guys on the field. And I'm just worried if Elliott wasn't available and if he was out there the entirety of the game, that he could get exposed. So, what we're trying to do, we're trying our best not to get exposed. We're trying not to have fits. And you have a guy like Aaron Rodgers that when he sees certain positions on the weakest players on the field, he's going to check and he's going to change the play to attack those players based on the defense we're playing. It's that simple. He can do that. I don't think Justin Fields is at that point in his development yet. So getting DeShon Elliott back is absolutely massive. Now, as we continue, and I do want to do this, I want to, and hang around if you want to hear about this, I want to show you a little bit more about the full injury report. Justin Jackson was upgraded in practice. He was a return to full practice after hurting his hip last week late in practice. So that is a good return. You saw Craig Reynolds take it, but I don't think we're a little more limited when Craig Reynolds is in. It's just what he has the ability to do compared to Jackson. Both can run the ball effectively. I think Justin Jackson is just a little bit better doing everything else, whether it's pass pro, whether it's going out and running a route, just a little more experience in that. Other players no longer listed with an injury. Great. Kirby Joseph had come back from the back and he remains fully healthy this week in practice. That's fantastic. Josh Woods for his special teams prowess. That's fantastic. Reynolds and Stenberg. Stenberg doesn't matter at this point, but having Reynolds back is nice. But here's the thing we have to understand. We're pretty healthy. All right. There's no doubt about that, but so is Green Bay. Green Bay had all full or limited participants, except Aaron Rodgers. Now, Aaron Rodgers is just on we'll call it the Frank Ragnow treatment, which is, nope, he doesn't have to participate. He's perfectly fine. He's had this thumb injury or this knee injury for a long time now, and he's been perfectly fine. So let's look at our full thing. We had a couple of did not participate. Ragnow is continuing his not practice. He's starting to look like he's hurting. A couple of, what do I want to call it? Unusual holding penalties for him in the last few weeks, things like that. Just hoping that he can be healthy enough to be effective in his role. DeShon Elliott, is that shoulder good? Can he play a full game? Kabinda did not participate. And Iwosika, want him to get healthy. But again, he's not participating. Would love to have him at a backup guard position. So we're healthy. The Packers are healthy. This is about as healthy as you could expect two teams at this point in the season to be. And it's kind of exciting. That's what you want. You want teams at full strength, full capacity. So here's what we're hoping. We're hoping the Lions stay healthy this week. And we're hoping that we are able to play with a full deck going into Green Bay. No massive injuries up on the offensive line, defensive line, playmakers. It's those late week injuries that really can hurt a team because it's hard to game plan for it. So let's hope we stay healthy on Thursday and Friday practice. Usually all the padded practices are done. I think you get like 24, 25 throughout the season. And usually the whole month of December and January, teams aren't doing padded practices. So that usually helps with injuries. But we'll see. You never know what can happen with, soft tissue injury, something like that. So hoping we stay healthy. Great to have DeShon Elliott back. And this is our opportunity. Let's go get the Packers in Lambeau. And all of a sudden, we're Rams fans. See ya.